Lake Victoria, the world's freshwater lake, serves a large population with different socio-economic activities. However, behind this magnificent view, there is a silent clash over resource use by different people and communities. This leads to degradation. Specifically, our greatest concern is Busi, a relatively small island found in Wakiso district here in Uganda. For almost 30 years, local communities have caused environmental damage with degradation carried to its excess, jeopardizing environmental services and rural economies, which are the consequences we see today. For instance, the green color of this water suggests that aquatic organisms are dying silently, with fish poisoning being one of the causes as fishermen try to make ends meet. Amidst this challenging scenario, a ray of hope is on the horizon. This video focuses on efforts being put in place to change the trend of degradation around the Lake Victoria Basin. Some of these efforts are global in nature. Others are as a result of community-led initiatives. But they all focus in the same direction. It's a Saturday morning, the 23rd of March, 2013. And we are at Kyanjazi landing site where our story begins. Anyone arriving here on a local engine canoe takes almost 45 minutes from the outskirts of Entebbe Airport, Uganda's main gateway into the country. Here, something no one can think of immediately takes center stage. The same people who degrade the island are now on the front line of conservation. This kind of motivation is not stage managed, nor is it driven by supernatural powers, but by genuine concern by local communities to protect what is theirs. Reading from these placards, the message is clearly written in black and white. Indeed, the hour has come to save the island. Stanley Kabuye is Busi Sub-County Chief. He is about to flag off the campaign and warns us to be mindful of our environmental footprints.
If you have never seen a desert in the middle of the lake, just wait and see. Ownership is the key word. Just like our neighboring Tanzania, where the word initiate is used in the collective identity of the state, which implies our land.
Buli muntu yenna nammwe initiate kitegeeza ensi yaffe. Buli omwe ensi ye muli mu ngalo. Ensi ye muli mu birowoozo.
In the practice of do as I preach, he takes the lead while others follow. Behind the scene is Earth Hour, a global initiative to save the planet, whose activities in Uganda are coordinated by Worldwide Fund for Nature. But a project called Hope remains a positive force here. Since 2011, the project has made significant steps, combining family planning and biodiversity conservation so that people can live in harmony within their natural environment. And today, the campaign is just pushing an open door. Clearing huge amounts of trash that pollute the lake goes side by side with planting trees on naked land. Work is voluntary and there are no exceptions, no boundaries, no age limit. Meanwhile, these young children are imitating their parents. At such an early age, They are probably securing their own future and that of their own children. One person who is optimistic to see how things turn out is Jacqueline Nakajubi. She works for Hope Project and is based here on the island.
Indeed, this campaign is not stopping today. It is an additional voice of what we are still doing at the island. And we are sure that by the end of this campaign, people at the island will have planted over 30,000 trees.
Awareness rising remains the cornerstone of the 3-year project operating both in Uganda and Kenya. Using a model house approach, focus has been put on sustainable farming and fishing practices, while access to reproductive health care forms the axis of the project. The story of Busi Island was one time the story of a natural paradise for fish, birds, and wild animals. Now, no more. The island is also heavily populated. This also increases the number of victims who require adaptation measures with focus on climate change and its negative impacts on the world's poor. There are 2 ways to understand the impact of degradation in this area. One is to use statistics. The other is to use our imagination. The first example is right here at Busi Primary School. On average, about 10 times as much firewood is used up each week than it was 20 years ago since the school was established. Consider at least other 2 schools with the same experience and imagine what will happen in the next 20 years. This is a very worrying time, according to Michael Wataka, the head teacher.
We are providing lunch to our children, but then the major source of fuel we are using is firewood. So this one is a very great challenge because it poses a threat to our environment.
However, hope is not lost.
That is good.
We use trees for building, everybody.
With environmental education now part of the school curriculum, children are expected to be compassionate about nature so that the culture of conservation can continue. Our second example focuses offshore at Nachiwogo Market. Here, we are close to the real problem than we are from Entebbe Airport. Almost 3/4 of what is sold here comes from Busi Island, an economic engine that keeps the market going. Forest products such as timber, firewood, and charcoal are on high demand. But foodstuffs are popular as well. This goes on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, year in, year out. Unfortunately, the more times money exchanges hands, the more the island gets threatened. All it takes is a handful of sweet pineapples like this, and countless hectares of forests will pay the price. But do people here really know the impact posed by this small but powerful market? One man who is caught up in this dilemma is Edward Mukasa, who is a fisherman and pineapple vendor as well.
Forests and pineapples don't mix because pineapples need a lot of light to grow. That's why forests are disappearing. Besides, the lake is also getting depleted. We live in a dilemma.
Back to the island. Come rain or shine, the long-term strategy is to make Busi a model island. In the end, lessons from here shall be used elsewhere as a successful model for conservation. At the moment, 3 out of 5 parishes in Busi sub-county have been covered. Though it is too early to celebrate, some signs of success remain too visible to hide, and people are here to say thank you. One such successful farmer here is Mifubosis Kayanja. His aim is to maximize his land without necessarily destroying the forest.
This biogas unit is still under construction. Once it is done, my life will change for better. In many ways, this will save our forests.
There is nothing as shortage of cow dung or urine because these cows are here to do the needful. In the process, the byproducts will be recycled as manure to enrich the soil. And for milk, this is obvious. Elsewhere, energy-saving stoves are now replacing the traditional 3 cooking stones. Although they appear cheap, these cooking methods put especially the women and girls at great risks, including indoor air pollution. But today, most kitchens are now cooler, with less firewood and smoke than before. Olive Kabuye is another model farmer with a progressive future. With harvest time just a matter of weeks away, Olive is already counting her profits. Her smile tells it all. I am happy about the project. Unlike our traditional cassava, this new variety is disease resistant and matures faster. So we have got a weapon to fight hunger and poverty. I expect not less than 3 million shillings after harvest. A distance away is Busi Health Center too, the only government-aided facility on the island. Until recently, night deliveries here have been an enduring test, a kind of memory that one would find disturbing to talk about. Stella Nakayala is the midwife working here. She tells us about the ordeal of the time.
So it could bring a lot of smoke, whereby it could affect the mother's life, and in the morning, checking the baby's nose, it was filled with the smoke inside.
Thanks to Hope Project, which donated a solar suitcase with a unit for lighting, ending concerns of the smoke era. Since then, over 30 households have taken keen interest in these new developments. One such beneficiary is Harriet Najita. Using solar light to extend her working hours into the night, Harriet also charges phones to earn some income. All she needed to buy the device was 75,000 shillings, an equivalent of $30. This is the price every woman here needs to pay in order to change her life. Chinwante village is our last stopover. A clear example of how far individual families are trying to get a better understanding of the livelihood linkages between poverty, conservation, and family planning. Here, Tony Sewanyana, 27 years, and his wife, Gertrude Nachibuka, 25 years, live with their 3-year-old daughter. Since Hope came here, our lives have changed and we have no regrets. Now our next child will come by choice, not by accident. We know very well that a healthy family starts with available resources. On a small piece of land as less as half an acre, there is a banana plantation mixed with cassava garden, trees, a piggery project, and enough space to move from the house to the toilet. Nachibuka also knows that after toilet, hand washing with soap and enough water is a must. This is how she prevents poor sanitation-related diseases. Indeed, in this Earth Hour long inspiring campaign, there would never be role models without Hope Project. Because naturally, two hands wash each other. So, with a strong focused strategy, such as modeling exercise along with increased awareness, what the people of Busi need is a backing to ensure that their efforts are not washed away in the tide of time.